So this is some of the buckthorn I cut last fall and left piled up here. And one of today's jobs is to gather this up and put it through the splitter. There's a lot of buckthorn on my property, and I've been burning it slow but steady over the years. It's pretty easy to pick it out of the wood pile. Certainly for me. I don't know how well the light shows in the camera, but see that orangey color? Orange, 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 all that orangey colored wood. It's all buckthorn. And the size of that one there, that's 5-6 inches across. That's about as big as it gets. Buckthorn is an invasive species that was brought here by Brits with the intent of planting it in fence rows, which would create a decorative hedge type. That was the concept. Later in the year, about end of July, they get these little really dark berries on them. They're almost black. This is the buckthorn tree. We didn't know what it was when they were kids. I didn't know the name of the tree. But we found out by experimentation what happens if you eat one or two of those berries. Now let me tell you, if you eat a buckthorn berry or two, you'll be shitting through the eye of a needle in about 5 minutes. It will completely evacuate your system. They look like miniature grapes or currants, but they aren't. You will be having serious diarrhea within 5 or 10 minutes, and it will clean you right out. So they are a natural laxative, but they're also, and part of the reason is because they're slightly poisonous. And that poison affects your stomachs and makes you evacuate your system. One of the reasons why there's such a problem is the native birds here. If they eat them, they get the same problem too. So if little birds eat those berries, they get all drained out too. So they're a bad deal. But it's kind of an interesting wood, the buckthorn in itself. Some Jeffro's wooden wonders that could be made out of this stuff if I had a way to get it sawn and milled into small boards. There's some things I've got in mind that I could do with it, but at the moment they're just a thought. According to Google, common buckthorn is a small shrub or tree native to Eurasia. It was introduced to North America in the 1880s as an ornamental shrub and was widely planted for fence rows and windbreaks in agricultural fields. For those of you who are geographically challenged, Eurasia is that chunk of green on the globe, which is basically Europe and Asia combined. Perhaps easiest explained is what it is not. It is not North America, South America, Africa, or Australia. One of the interesting properties about this, other than its color, it's quite soft when you cut it when it dries. It dries really hard. Really, really hard. Let's put what's left of it in the stove. Goodbye. The telltale signs here, if you look at these young trees, I'm not sure what they are. Some of them are birch, some of them are poplar. But this is buckthorn here. And the way you tell is by looking at these thorns. That thorn there is buckthorn. And I'm trying to get rid of as much of this stuff as I can. So this is buckthorn I cut down a couple days ago. Got it stuck on the top of my chimney here so you can see the thorns on it, and I look at the leaves. So these are the leaves. They're very smooth, not very large, and oval shape, no jagged edges. And then here's a look at some of the thorns. Look at this thorn here. It's at least 2 inches long. There's some smaller ones down here that are less than that. But it's got these thorns. They go all up the branches. One of the interesting things about buckthorn is it can be hard to distinguish it from other trees. But I'll show you. Here's the bark. This is the bark off an apple tree. So here we can compare buckthorn to the apple tree. Now the buckthorns is a little darker overall on the exterior of the bark. The bark is similar, but a little bit darker. It's shaggy. It's a little more shaggy than the apple. Compared to the cherry, you'll see the difference. This is the bark from a cherry wood tree. And now here we're trying to compare the buckthorn to the cherry wood. They're very similar in color. Now the cherry is slightly more shaggy than the buckthorn, and the buckthorn's a little more shaggy than the apple trees. But these two are very close in color. So anyway, there's a comparison. You see, there's an apple tree. Again, apple trees, and another apple tree. Now this whole area right here, this line like that and up through there was probably a fence row at one time. So this is buckthorn. And as you can see, I went around and I ringed it with the chainsaw last fall. And I've killed it. Today I'm going to take it down. So you got buckthorn, you got cherry wood, and you got apple trees all growing here in the same area. And this is more of the same. You know, one apple tree right here. This is an apple tree. And this is buckthorn. Two buckthorn trees. These are pretty large. And as you can see, I ringed these with the chainsaw last fall as well. That one and this one. Now I'm going to knock that down and that clump over there down today. Get them cut up, and we'll put some of them through the wood splitter. This is most of the large buckthorn blocks here. It's half decent wood to burn. The only problem is by the time you get a tree this big, good enough to split and burn, it's already repopulated the whole area with 10,000 other buckthorns. So it's the kind of thing you've got to you got to get at and stay at. So this tree is cut right off. There's fresh growth right here coming out of that tree. I'm going to have to take care of that year after year. Well, that's it for today, and that's quite a stack of orange wood there. Interesting color for sure.